Listen to me very carefully, because the Seattle Seahawks are standing at a massive crossroads right now, and the decisions made in the next few weeks will define this franchise for the next decade. We are talking about high-stakes roster construction and massive financial implications that could shake the very foundation of the Pacific Northwest. Before we dive into these explosive updates, I need a favor from the real 12s out there. We are pushing toward 1,000 subscribers, and your support keeps this high-level analysis alive. Hit that button now. The future of our team starts today.
Listen, the information coming out of the VMAC right now is absolutely staggering. We are looking at a masterclass in roster management or a potential disaster, depending on how John Schneider plays these cards. According to the latest insider mailbag reports directly from the team, the Seattle Seahawks are currently evaluating every single inch of this roster as free agency looms over the horizon like a thunderstorm. But let us get to the heart of the matter. We are talking about the foundation. We are talking about the young stars who are supposed to be the pillars of this organization. I am looking at Devon Witherspoon and Jackson Smith-Njigba. These are guys from that legendary 2023 draft class who have shown they belong on the big stage. John Schneider and Mike Macdonald are not just looking at the present, they are looking at the long-term sustainability of this defense and offense. When you have a talent like Witherspoon, a guy who plays with a physical edge that reminds you of the glory days of the LOB, you do not just let that situation simmer, you address it. The conversation around extensions for these young stars is heating up because the market is exploding. If you wait, the price goes up. If you act now, you secure the future. But there is a tension here. Mike Macdonald is a defensive mastermind, and he knows that to run his complex scheme, he needs high IQ players who can execute on an island. The mailbag highlights that the front office is prioritizing flexibility. But how much flexibility do you really have when your best players are eligible for massive paydays? It's a chess match, people. Schneider has been around the block, and he knows that the 2023 class is the soul of this current rebuild. However, while we're sitting here debating whether or not to lock down these young cornerstones, there is another massive elephant in the room. You cannot talk about extensions without looking at the holes that are about to open up elsewhere. The priorities are shifting by the hour. We are seeing a strategic pivot that suggests the Seahawks are not just looking to fill gaps, they are looking to redefine their identity under this new coaching staff. But here's the kicker that should have every Seahawks fan sweating through their jersey right now. While they are planning for the future of Witherspoon and JSN, a vacuum is forming in the secondary that might force their hand in the upcoming draft. Do they have a plan for the immediate void that could leave this entire defensive backfield exposed and vulnerable to every quarterback in the NFC West division?
If you want to keep getting exclusive insights and hard-hitting analysis like this every single day, you need to subscribe to the channel right now. Join our community of dedicated fans today.
The situation has just reached a fever pitch because the draft board is telling a story that the front office might not want to hear, and the consensus is becoming dangerously clear. Seattle is sitting at pick number 32, and the glaring neon sign above the draft room says one thing: cornerback. This is not a luxury pick anymore, people. This is a survival pick. Rick Woolen and Josh Jobe are staring down the barrel of free agency, and the reality is that the Seahawks are looking at a secondary that could be gutted before the first whistle of training camp. I am telling you, Rick Woolen is the focal point of this entire defensive identity crisis. He has been a ball hawk, a game changer, but now he's a man looking for his worth on the open market. If Woolen walks, Mike Macdonald is left with a massive hole on the perimeter that even a genius like him cannot scheme away without elite talent. The mock draft tracker is highlighting names that could step in, but let us be real here. You are picking at 32. You're at the bottom of the first round because you were successful, but the cost of that success is that the blue-chip cornerbacks might already be off the board. John Schneider is a guy who loves to wheel and deal, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is burning up the phone lines right now, trying to figure out how to navigate this defensive emergency. The draft experts are pointing toward the secondary because they see what I see. They see a team that is 1 or 2 departures away from having a unit that cannot match up with the high-powered offenses in this league. You cannot go into a season with question marks at both corner spots. It is professional suicide in today's NFL. The Seahawks are being linked to several prospects, but none of them bring the immediate veteran presence that a guy like Woolen provides. This draft strategy is not just about finding a rookie, it is about finding a replacement for a star who might be too expensive to keep. Is the draft really the answer, or is it just a desperate band-aid for a much larger financial wound that is about to bleed this roster dry? The implications are massive, because if you miss on this pick, you are not just losing a player, you are losing your competitive edge in a division that takes no prisoners. But wait until you hear the actual price tag on this looming disaster. Can you really handle the consequences?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a code red in Seattle, and I need you to understand the magnitude of what is about to happen. The news is breaking that the Seahawks are expected to lose a premier cornerback, who is projected to command a staggering $76 million on the open market. We are talking about Riq Woolen. We are talking about a homegrown talent, a fifth-round miracle who turned into a Pro Bowl caliber lockdown corner, and now he is likely walking out that door because the numbers simply do not add up. $76 million. That is not just a contract. That is a franchise-altering investment that Seattle apparently is not willing or able to make. My goodness, the fallout from this is going to be astronomical. You are losing a guy with elite speed, elite length, and a proven track record in this system. How do you replace that? You do not just find $76 million talent on the street. This is a devastating blow to Mike Macdonald's inaugural defensive vision. When you lose a player of this caliber for nothing in return but a compensatory pick down the road, it is a failure of asset management or a cold hard admission that the salary cap is undefeated. I am looking at this situation and I am frustrated for the 12s. You want to see your star stay. You want to see the guys you drafted and developed remain the face of the franchise. But the business of the NFL is cruel, and right now it is being cruel to the Pacific Northwest. The domino effect here is real. Without Woolen, the pressure on Devin Witherspoon doubles. The pressure on the front office to hit a home run at pick 32 triples. You are essentially being forced into a corner where you have to pray that a rookie can provide $76 million worth of production from day one. That is a recipe for disaster. The Seahawks are at a point where they have to decide if they are rebuilding or competing, because you cannot lose $76 million assets and expect to keep pace with the elite teams in the NFC. It is a gut punch, plain and simple. Schneider is going to have to explain this one, because the fans deserve to know why one of their brightest stars is being allowed to pack his bags and take his talents elsewhere. The secondary is officially in a state of emergency. But after all this chaos, what is the final verdict for the 2026 season? Can we truly expect this team to contend when the cornerstone of the defense is walking out the door?
This is the reality of the NFL. And for the Seattle Seahawks, the clock is ticking loudly. We are looking at a transformational offseason where the secondary is being rebuilt on the fly, while stars are walking out the door for massive paydays elsewhere. I want to hear from you, the 12s. How do you feel about losing a $76 million talent? Do you trust John Schneider and Mike Macdonald to fix this in the draft at pick 32? Or are we looking at a significant step backward for this defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is just getting started. Don't forget to subscribe and help us reach that 1,000 subscriber milestone. We are in this together, and I will be here with every update as it breaks. Stay locked in.